Okay, here's a fact. Being overweight is a pre-existing condition. I'm going to say it and we're going to get it out of the way. We have a lot to discuss today. Being overweight is a pre-existing condition. So one of the things that many individuals have said to me over the years as a health coach, when I'm talking about how I can help them in their health, when I'm talking about how I'm going to teach them how to eat to live, when I'm talking about the power of a whole food plant-based diet, when I'm talking about the power of exercise and drinking water and eating fiber and mindfulness and giving up all of the junk and moving from a moderation mindset to an abstinence mindset, one of the things I've heard from a lot of you over and over again is, I'm healthy, coach. I just need to lose weight. I don't have any pre-existing conditions, coach. I just need to lose weight. And you guys say that as if being overweight is not a pre-existing condition, where I'm here to tell you today that being overweight is a pre-existing condition. I know that personally because I used to be over 60 pounds heavier than what I am today. And I know that professionally because I have coached hundreds upon hundreds of people through weight loss journeys, and we still do it today. And we have a challenge coming up, the Plant Protocol 30-Day Vegan Salt, Oil, and Sugar-Free Challenge coming up, where we're going to help many more of you lose the weight that has been too stubborn to come off. But before we do that, I need to do another mini masterclass about weight loss, because so many of us still believe that even though we're not on medications, even though the doctor hasn't given us a diagnosis, even though we don't have to fill prescriptions, even though we are not hospital bound, that we are healthy whilst carrying an extra 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds on our body. So we're going to dig into it today. I'm going to do a mini masterclass about weight loss. I'm going to teach you why being overweight is a pre-existing condition that you should be treating just as serious as you treat high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, anxiety, depression, fibroids, IBS, gut issues, autoimmune conditions. I don't know why we believe being overweight is a lesser challenge than all of those other conditions. But we get into it today because I need to make sure you guys understand the severity of what we working with. Good morning, YouTube. Hello, y'all. What's up, Grace? What's up, Wanda? What's up, y'all? What y'all sipping on? I got my tea, and clearly I'm off to the races. This morning, okay, I have a ashwagandha, like I have a adaptogenic blend mixed with my usual mint in my gold handle mug. It's happening. It's going down. We're about to talk our talk. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell me what y'all sipping on in the chat. Tamika, where are my regulars at? What y'all got this morning? Is it good? Is it good enough to sustain the edge lifting that's about to happen? Do you have something warm and comforting in your cup so that I can lift your edges and step on your toes and it don't hurt as bad this morning? If you're overweight, if you've been stalling losing the weight, if you've been thinking that you're not that bad, if you've been giving yourself credit for doing a little better but not doing your best, then this is the episode for you. If you've been trying to eat less, if you've been trying to move more, if you still can't figure out why your body won't let go of the extra weight, I'm gonna break it down for you today. So tell me what you sipping on, just because I like to make sure my people is good before I lift their edges. I like to make sure my people is good before I step on their toes, before I officially turn this into my coaching hat. We still friends right now. So just tell me how y'all feeling and how y'all doing. Malika, lemon water warmed and is. I love it. Susan said drinking tea this morning. Okay, Susan, I hope it's unsweetened. Hello, because I need your brain to be clear when I give you this beating that I'm about to give y'all, some of y'all today. Wanda's also on the warm lemon water. I had my warm lemon water earlier today, so now I treat myself with tea. Y'all know I wake up first thing in the morning, my warm lemon water and my gold handle mug. But today, as we are getting ready for Monday morning's keynote, I'm sipping on my tea, y'all. So I'm glad to see some of y'all sipping with me. Let's get into it. So here's something super cool. I never shared this quick story with y'all because I thought it was funny, but I never knew what lesson I need to tie to it. But God gave it to me, so I'm about to give it to y'all. Y'all, so a couple months ago, earlier this year, I had a really, really, really busy first quarter. And one of the gigs I had in the first quarter of this year of 2025 was I had to speak in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. I got the best job on the planet, by the way. But I got the opportunity to speak at a retreat in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee earlier this year. I think it was in March. And I got invited back to that retreat. So I'll be speaking again in the Smoky Mountains in March, April of 2026. Yay. I'm so excited. But let me tell y'all what happened. Let me tell y'all what happened earlier this year. So I arrive in Tennessee. I land at the airport and I go to Avis to get a rental car because I needed to drive about an hour or so to where the retreat was, to the cabin and to my hotel and all of that stuff, right? So I'm getting a car, right? So mind you, it's March in Tennessee, so it's still kind of cold. It's still kind of chilly out. There's still some frost in the air and on the grass. There's some dew in the morning air, right? So I arrived in Tennessee with my camel, trench coat on, my scarf on, my skull cap. I got my gloves. Like I'm ready to be in the mountains, but I'm ready to be in the mountains fashionably, right? So, y'all, I arrive in Tennessee, about to go do my thing at the Smoky Mountains at this wonderful retreat put on by my girl Tracy. And I arrive at Avis. I'm looking the part, young, you know what I mean? Got my shades on, looking the whole part, right? And so when I rented the car, I don't think I selected, you know how when you rent a car, you just select like the tier. Do you want an economy car? Do you want a small SUV? Do you want a 7-passenger van? So you never know what type of car you're going to get. You just select like the status, right? Where do you want a sports car, whatever, right? So I had selected whatever I think premium or whatever, or maybe mid tier, I don't know. But I didn't know what type of car I was going to get exactly, right? So I'm at the Avis desk and I give the lady my ID and I give the lady my credit card. I already got my reservation and I'm ready to get my car. And the lady looked at me and she said, "Okay, I got you. I got a brand new about 2026 Subaru that we're going to give you. Here's your spot is A7. Here's the keys. Have a nice day." I looked around. I looked down at myself. I said, she don't see this swag? Maybe she missed something. This is Tennessee. This is a smaller airport. Not a lot of riffraff comes through here. Not a lot of swagginess comes through here. Not a lot of us probably even come through here. I'm like, so maybe, maybe she ain't see what's standing right in front of her. I said, excuse me, ma'am. I don't have kids. I don't have a family with me. I'm not here like on family vacation. Like I'm in my best camel trench and my shades and my scarf that's double wrapped and my handbag on my wrist. And I don't even know if you had saw like my little jewelry and my fashionable rings and my shades, but that don't go with a Subaru. I said, is it any way, ma'am? Is it any way that you could give me a different type of vehicle? And she said, "But it's safe." I said, "Safe?" I said, "Lady, do I look like I'm here for safety? Like, I get that it's safe and I get that it has a top safety rating from all of the car rating companies in the world." I said, "But do you think you're about to sell me on safety?" I said, "That's not my number one concern." I'm like, I got to drive an hour. I'm like here on a assignment. I'm like here on a mission. This lady trying to sell me on safety. I said, "Safe? Right message, wrong customer, ma'am. I'm not concerned about safe. I'm out here. I'm trying to be cute. Like, do you see two toddlers lugging behind me? I'm not worried about safety. I don't got to strap in no car seats." I'm like, it's safe. Right message, wrong customer. Look at the swag that's before you, right? And she said, "But Tennessee is mountainous. You about to be where you going. You about to be going through the mountains and you about to be, it's going to be some hills and there's going to be some peaks and some valleys and there's going to be some twists and some turns and you need something that's safe and you need something." And I said, "Is that all you got?" And she said, "Well, I can look and I can see if we got something else. But I'm telling you, like the terrain that you're about to endure is this is what you need. Like you need a Subaru." And I said, wow. I said, well, when you look at it like that, I guess this is my first time here, and this is my first gig in the Smoky Mountains. And I never, if I'm being honest, I never really drove the mountains of Tennessee. So I honestly don't even know what to expect. I just know how I wanted it to look when I showed up. Right. I'm like, but if I'm being honest with you, you're a resident here, and clearly you've been working at Avis for a while, and then I done told you where I'm going and what I gotta do this weekend, and you telling me that a Subaru is the best vehicle for me despite what it looks like on the outside. And she like, yeah, 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 that's the best. And guess what, y'all? It turned out that she was right, right? As I started my trek to the mountains to get to the retreat, right, it turns out that there was some steep mountains, and it turns out that there was some inclines that were pretty high, and it turns out that the make and model of the vehicle that I was in was exactly what I needed to get me where I wanted to go. Now, I didn't like the way it made me look, and I didn't like the way it looked on the outside, and I don't even like the name Subaru. That ain't even attractive to me. But she was trying to sell me on a safety rating. I was trying to sell her on swag. And while we weren't aligned initially, she promised me that this was the vehicle I needed. Why am I telling y'all all this on this weight loss masterclass on this fine Monday morning for the first Monday in November of 2025? It is because many of you have the same misconception. Many of you, as we move into 2026, you have an idea in your mind of the type of vehicle you're about to take to get you where you want to go. Like a lot of y'all, like, I'm sick and tired of where I am. I'm going to get out of this debt. I'm going to stop being fearful. I want to get out of this job and this career. I want to get out of this relationship. I want to move the needle in my healing. I want to finally start showing up for myself and being in the front row and being in the front of the class. I'm sick of being in the back. I'm sick of being shy. I'm sick of being quiet. I'm sick of not speaking up for myself. And you think your big brain's going to get you there. You think you're going to get there by osmosis. You think that you're going to maybe attach yourself to somebody who will give you the courage to do it. And I'm telling you, we actually need to start with your vessel. I'm telling you, the vehicle that you're thinking is going to be the one that's going to take us through the finish line is not going to be the one that's going to do it. And why isn't it? Because if any indication have come from 2025, we are in store for some peaks and some valleys. We are in store for some hills and some terrains that we never would expect it. And the very best thing you can do for yourself is start 2026 off in the right vehicle. What's the right vehicle? That means being in a body and a mind that is optimal. That means before you decide that your content or your degrees are going to get you to where you want to go, before you think you need to invest another dollar into a certification or some continuing education, maybe you should start with your health. I'm telling you, the amount of endurance you're going to need to go where you need to go for 2026, if 2025 and all of the foolishness that has been happening is any indicator, that means that we got a minimum of 3 more years of this foolishness, and you're going to need endurance. That means your sleep needs to be optimal. That means you cannot have a sugar addiction. You can't have a caffeine addiction. That means you can't afford to carry excess weight. I'm trying to tell you, you showing up to the table, you showing up to the boardroom, you showing up to the opportunity with your little degrees and your little certifications, and you done messed around and sold a few copies of your product, and a couple people done invested in you, and you think you're going to leverage those things to get to the next level. And I'm telling you, no. We're going to start. The vehicle that you need to be in first is the one that gets the weight off you. You need to be in the vehicle that lifts the brain fog. You need to be in the vehicle that reintroduce you to fitness and exercise and movement consistently. You need to be in the vehicle that finally knocks that caffeine and that sugar and that alcohol out of your hand. You need to be in full control of your body and your mind. You need to be in the very best vessel that you've ever been in, because the thing that's going to take you where you're going to go, and the thing that's going to help you navigate the peaks and the valleys and the ups and the downs and the things that we haven't even imagined that's coming our way, is you have to be in the absolute best shape of your life. And some of you are walking these streets every day carrying excess weight and thinking it's okay. You're walking around here insecure in a body that cannot endure your to-do list and thinking it's okay. You refusing to put down the junk food. You refusing to get out of the drive-thrus. You refusing to stop drinking alcohol. You have to have sugar after every meal. You have to have a drink every time it's time to decompress. you're not in control. And you think you're about to use all these other tools and resources to leverage where you want to go, where really you need to start with the thing that has more control over you than you have over it. And for many of you, it's your food, it's your exercise, it is your weight. So let's get into it. Welcome to Monday Morning Keynote with yours truly. I'm back and better than ever. Sips tea. Lady tried to give me a Subaru until it turned out I needed a Subaru. Let me tell you why y'all need to lose weight, and let me tell you the health risk of being overweight. Let's start there. Let me tell you the health risk of being overweight and why being overweight is a pre-existing condition. And many of you guys need to stop minimizing. Many of you guys need to stop minimizing being overweight. Okay? We got to stop minimizing being overweight because we think it's not that big of a deal as long as our doctor has said that we don't have any other conditions and we're not prescribed any medication. Okay, so number one, there's an increased risk of a cardiovascular event. There's an increased risk of a heart attack. There's an increased risk of heart failure. Being overweight is a pre-existing condition. The excess weight, the visceral fat around your arteries, increases your risk of a cardiovascular event. Being overweight also increases your risk of cancer, especially cancers that are hormonal dominant. Because when you are overweight, you produce more estrogen, you produce more hormones, and it increases your risk for things like breast cancer when you are overweight, prostate cancer for men. Right. So being overweight increases your risk of a cardiovascular event. It increases your risk of cancer. It increases your risk of type 2 diabetes because of the insulin resistance. The insulin resistance, carrying excess weight on your body, destabilizes your hormones. So now we have hormonal imbalance. We know we want our hormones in balance, but being overweight increases hormonal imbalance. It's a whole problem. It also increases inflammation, which increases things like joint pain, neuropathy, nerve damage. It's very challenging to move through life and optimize your life, your behaviors when you are overweight. It is not a harmless crime. It is not a victimless crime. Being overweight is not a victimless crime, y'all. There are things that you have increased risk for when you are carrying excess weight. So let me put some numbers to this. When the female body is above 25% body fat, and when the male body is approximately above 15% body fat, we then see suppression of our immune system. So that means your immune system is not as strong when you have excess body fat. What does that mean? That means you are more susceptible to disease, colds, illness, COVID, flu. You are more susceptible to pathogens when your body fat as a woman is above 25% and above 15% for a male. Your immune system is compromised, especially when the majority of that excess weight is in your midsection, in your gut. When we carry excess weight in our midsection, that is one of the foremost indicators of lifestyle disease, of an increased risk of lifestyle disease, right? That's again, our high blood pressure, our high cholesterol, our type 2 diabetes, our fatty liver. Those things are significantly increased when we carry excess fat, visceral fat around the midsection. So I need you guys to understand how dangerous this is to be overweight. Stop minimizing it like it's not a big deal just because you're not on blood pressure meds. Stop minimizing it just because your blood sugar is healthy. Being overweight is a problem. Okay? So the other thing that being overweight does, right? Not only does it cause you to produce more hormones, so we're pouring more hormones into the bloodstream, it also produces more cholesterol. So that means that when you are overweight, you could technically cause high cholesterol or increase the risk of high cholesterol by being overweight because your cells are expanding with all of this excess fat. Because when you gain weight, you don't get more fat cells. The ones you have expand. And when you lose weight, the ones you have shrink, right? So as your fat cells expand, that is when we see the increased production of estrogen, right? So more hormones, which increases your risk for different types of cancer. That's also where we see what's called angiogenesis promotion. So we're producing more blood vessels. And then we also see the increase of cholesterol, right? As these fat cells are expanding. And so it is a really dangerous place to be overweight from a health perspective. I don't care what you think it looks like or how nice you think it looks on you. When your body fat as a woman is above 25%, above 15% for a male, you are at increased risk of some diseases. Now, I told you the health risks. Let me tell you what we need to do and why things like calorie restriction doesn't work and diets don't work and what we're going to do instead. Several years ago, in 2012, I started my own weight loss journey. Okay. So I started in January of 2012, got my first personal trainer, and I began the journey of losing weight. At that time, I was about 190 pounds, maybe closer to 200. Maybe I had crossed the 200 mark at some point, but I don't know why 190 stands out to me significantly because I really remember that number. And I began the process of losing weight. And initially, I did it the old school way of thinking that the simple model of just eat less was the best way to lose weight. Like just consume less calories, burn more calories, right? Eat less, burn more. And that is a very oversimplified way of explaining weight loss. And I begin doing that, which means I was eating like those low calorie meals, right? So I was like reading the labels on the back of processed packaged food, just uneducated, and thinking as long as it was low calorie, or thinking as long as I skip certain meals that I would be good, right? And it actually worked for one thing. The scale did move, right? But here's where I was not educated. Absolutely, the scale moved by eating less. But I also increased my risk of heart disease and high blood pressure because I had no idea that all calories were not created equal and that you could literally eat smaller amounts of junk whilst increasing your chances for like high blood pressure and heart disease. Because even that now, what it looks like is, oh, I'm getting the small fry instead of the large fry. Right? Like I'm not finishing the family size bag of potato chips. I'm like using self-control and moderation to eat fewer cookies. I'm not going to eat a sleeve of cookies. I'm going to eat fewer cookies. I'm not going to, put the spoon inside of the ice cream. I'm just going to scoop out a little bit into a bowl. Like I really thought, gosh, that calorie restriction was the biggest thing that I needed to do in order to lose weight. Not thinking about life expectancy, not knowing anything about lifestyle disease, not recognizing that like starving myself of carbs and like increasing fat and protein was putting me in the state of keto that is so dangerous long term, great short term, horrible long term. Your body should not be running on fat. It should be running on carbs. And so all of this science that I didn't know, I wasn't aware of, right? And so I was just doing the things that the commercials and the front of the packages were telling me. This is a low calorie food, right? Eat this to lose weight. And so it was such an uneducated approach to weight loss. And so what I'm hoping is that I can save many of you from that. Many of us believe that if we're trying to lose weight, it's really about either starving ourselves, depriving ourselves, getting rid of all starch off the no bread, no pasta, no rice, no potatoes, right? We're just uneducated. And it's okay. We're just uneducated. And so I did what a lot of people have done. I absolutely restricted calories and tried to eat less junk. So that means I was not entertaining micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. I was strictly trying to manipulate macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. And I really thought that the manipulation of macros, protein, carbs, and fats was the best way to be healthy. But here's the thing, and this is important. I wasn't trying to be healthy. I was just trying to lose weight. Wait a minute. I wasn't trying to be healthy. I was actually just trying to lose weight. And there's a difference because you would think that somebody's trying to lose weight is trying to be healthy. But really what I was trying to do is I was just trying to look different when I looked in the mirror. So it was a vanity play, but health was not on my radar. And so first things first, here's the first tip for you guys who are on a weight loss journey. Be honest about whether or not you've even considered health in your weight loss journey, or is it just a vanity play? Because there's a ton of ways to lose weight. Not all of them are healthy, as we know, but many of us were so concerned with the vanity side of it that we're ignoring the health side, like thinking like, is it really safe to eliminate a whole macronutrient, carbs? Like, we know we need them to live, but I've just decided that I'm going to eliminate all carbs to be healthy, not realizing like, well, what's the point of carbs in my body and in my diet? Like, what do I need carbs for? Like, maybe I should learn nutrition science a little better. I know none of us think about that. We're just like, what can I take to burn fat? What can I do to make it go quickly? What can I inhale to suppress my appetite? We're doing all of these things, not really thinking about health. It's just a vanity play. So I want your weight loss journey to graduate from a vanity play to a health play. Like, okay, how can I do two things at once? How can I kill two birds with one stone? How can I lose weight and extend life? Like, because you can lose weight and shorten your life. It's crazy. You can actually make a decision that all I got to do is eat smaller amounts of processed junk food, ultra processed food, and lose weight. You could, but you're still not getting any vitamins and minerals, no micronutrients. And so that's not the best way to do this. And so I've been able to keep off over 60 pounds because, praise be to God, I quickly learned that there's a difference between just losing weight and losing weight and being healthy and optimizing health and life expectancy. Like, you can lose weight whilst increasing your chances of heart disease. Like, you can lose weight and still be eating a whole bunch of saturated fat and cholesterol that's clogging your arteries. The scale is going down, but the percentage of your arteries that's clogged is going up. That's dangerous, guys. Like, we could be doing all these artificial sweeteners and stuff. And so we're ruining our gut microbiome. So our gut health is getting worse. But yes, the scale is going down, right? We can be consuming all of these synthetic and processed foods that's technically low calorie. And so we're causing hyperactivity in the brain. So now we're compromising our intelligence and our brain health and our cognitive functioning. But yes, the scale is going down. And if all we care about is the scale going down, then we are in a dangerous place. So here's why calorie restriction doesn't work long term. It is because, number one, we actually need to eat an adequate amount of calories to live and to be healthy. And for many of us, when we starve our bodies for a long time from calories, we confuse our metabolism, which means when we inevitably, because it happens to every single person, when we inevitably lose our willpower and just can't restrict our calories that much for that long, most people go into a phase of like binging and gorging, and then our body and our metabolism is confused. It's no longer like it was trying to starve and preserve calories because we were starving our body, but then we go into a season of gorging and binging because we're losing self-control, and that completely throws off the functioning of our metabolism, right? And how we burn energy, i.e. how we use calories for fuel. And so calorie restriction is dangerous. The goal when you're trying to lose weight is not to eat totally less. You naturally eat less calories the cleaner you eat. So the goal is not to skip meals. The goal is not to starve yourself. The goal is to eat when you're hungry. The goal is to make sure that your meals are nutritionally dense. So they don't necessarily need to be smaller. They need to be cleaner. They don't need to be smaller. They need to be cleaner. So this is the mindset is, I don't need to graduate from a large fry to a small fry. I need to graduate from a large fry to a steamed baked potato, right? Without cheese and bacon. So I need to graduate from something that's deep fried that I'm gonna put sugar on top of to eat. And I need to graduate to something, there's nothing wrong with the actual potato. It's the fact that it's deep fried in oil, not sprinkled, doused with salt, and then I'm dipping it in sugar. And we thought the potato was the problem. So we don't need to eat less, we need to eat cleaner. We don't need to eat less, we need to eat cleaner, right? The potato was fine. We just need to bake it, right? And we just need to put a clean dressing on top of it. And we need to stop smothering it in saturated fat, i.e. butter and oil and bacon and cheese. It's what you're topping it with. It's not the potato itself that's the problem. We blaming it on the potato. Meanwhile, our arteries getting clogged, inflammation going up, not realizing it was the bacon, it was the meat, it was all of the fried chicken you put on top of the potato, right? It's the oil. And so calorie restriction is not the way to weight loss. We need to eat cleaner. We don't need to starve ourselves, right? And so when we're overweight, it increases inflammation in the body and it actually causes hormonal imbalance. And why is this so important? We have three significant hormones that are affected when we're overweight and when we have a diet that's full of ultra processed food. We have ghrelin, we have leptin, and we have insulin, right? So ghrelin is our hunger hormone. That's the hormone that sends a signal to our brain when we're hungry. So when you feel that little growl in your tummy, it's ghrelin working. It's telling your brain it's feeding time. When you're eating and you begin to feel full, that's leptin that's sending a signal to your brain and saying, hey, we're full. That's what's called our satiety hormone. We are no longer hungry, right? And then you have insulin, and that's what's released when we eat. We eat, and our pancreas releases this hormone called insulin. But when we overeat and when we're overweight and we develop insulin resistance, insulin is also called our fat storage hormone. Now, why am I telling you all of this science? Because I need you to understand when you are addicted to foods that are not real foods and you believe that I just need to eat less of fake food to lose weight, I'm telling you the fake food that has all the preservatives and the food dyes and the artificial sweeteners and the chemicals in it are hijacking your hormones. Why? Because the fake food has been engineered to be addictive. That means when the leptin sends a signal to your brain and says, hey, Lise, hey, Wanda, hey, Stacy, hey, Regina, we're full. It's time to stop eating. You're like, no, but it's just too good. I can't stop. I got to finish this bag of chips. I got to finish this sleeve of cookie. I got to finish this soda. I got to finish this candy. I got to finish this cake. I got to finish this pizza. I got to finish these burgers, this fries, this steak, this chicken, you name it. That is literally the fact that you keep eating past satiety means your hormones have been hijacked by fake and processed food. The inflammation and the hormonal imbalance is keeping you overweight. I'm going to pause here for somebody to tell me that that makes sense. If that's clear, put clear in the chat. Stacy said sour cream and chives. We know how Stacy like her potatoes. Put clear in the chat so we can wrap up this weight loss masterclass, the first in my lifestyle disease series that I'm doing for our Plant Protocol 30-Day Vegan Challenge. The next 8 Mondays are about to be a whole series. Every week, I'm about to break down a lifestyle condition for you guys so you guys understand how we're going to use the Plant Protocol 30-Day Vegan Salt, Oil, and Sugar-Free Challenge to get you together. So you just pick whichever one applies to you, okay? But today it's about weight loss. Next week, it's going to be about something else. Adrian said clear. Growth Matter said clear. Wanda said clear. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Regina, clear. Thank you, guys. All right, so when we're overweight, that means we are inflamed. It's not in question. Okay. So we're inflamed. It also means that we're producing more hormones. It also means that we have a significant risk of different types of cancer, of different types of cardiovascular conditions and diseases, significant increased risk when we are overweight. And here's something that I want you guys to understand, and those of you who are going to be doing the challenge with us, which should be everybody on this call, if you haven't, click the link that's pinned in the comment here on YouTube and register for our 30-Day Vegan Salt, Oil, and Sugar-Free Challenge. It starts January 1st because we're going to help you build a healthy relationship with food so that you can stop thinking that moderation is a safe approach to weight loss, okay? So most people are undernourished and their body is stressed out as a result. When you are being deprived of nutrients and sustenance, it puts stress on the body because the body is constantly trying to figure out a way on how to get all of the nutrients, your vitamins, your vitamin B, your vitamin K, your vitamin C, your vitamin D. It's trying to figure out how to get all of your minerals, like where's the selenium, where's the calcium, where is the sodium, where is all of the potassium, where is all of the minerals that I need to thrive. And so you're thinking you can eat smaller amounts of junk that has no sustenance in it. So while calorically you're full, nutritionally you're starving. That means you are actually eating every day a couple meals, but you are undernourished because those 2 cups of coffee fill you up. So all you got is caffeine, sugar, and dairy in your body. You haven't got no sustenance. So now your body is stressed out because you're not giving it no sustenance, but you don't have room for sustenance because you're full off of empty calories. An empty calorie means it makes me feel full, but I have not fed my body any of the sustenance that I need to thrive. So now I'm putting literal stress on my body because I am increasing the chances of a deficiency strictly from deprivation. I'm depriving my body of whole real food because I believe the thing that's going to get me to the mountaintop, shout out to the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, is that I have enough energy that I'm going to get from caffeine. I believe the thing that's going to push me through this long to-do list and this busy week that I have is 3 cups of coffee a day. You in the wrong vehicle, sis. You thought the coffee was going to get you there. It's the plants. You drinking energy drinks. You got all of this synthetic and dirty energy. You starving your body. Your body's not getting any sustenance. They trying to tell you at the Avis counter you need a Subaru. They trying to tell you. Why do you keep getting in all these road vehicles? They not going to get you to the mountain. They not going to help you with the peaks and the valleys and the hills. You keep getting in the wrong vehicle thinking it's going to get you to the end of your day. You keep fueling your body with junk. You keep telling yourself that if I just push a little harder, if I skip one more workout so I can get one more thing done, then that's going to be, you think pushing and forcing yourself through work is going to do it. No, you need to stop and go to the gym. That's how you get energy. You need to get this weight off of you. You need to build muscle. You need to clear your mind. You need to start meditating. And where is the fasting? Where do you intentionally not eat so your body can digest all that you've already eaten? You in the wrong vehicle. Just like I was pulling up to that Avis counter in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. I was begging that lady not to give me a Subaru, and she said, I'm telling you, this is what you need for the mountains of Tennessee. This is what you need. So if the 2026 version of you has a to-do list and is declaring that it is not going to look like 2025 looked, then I'm telling you, you need to start here with our challenge. I'm telling you that if you have goals that are bigger than life, if you have a vision that you are sick of being just a vision and you're ready to see it in real time, if you want your vision to come into fruition, I'm telling you the vehicle you need to be in is a body that has been optimized, that is no longer consuming food dyes and caffeine and energy drinks and processed food, and believing that starvation and deprivation and believing that late nights and short mornings are the way to survive. Wrong vehicle. Wrong. You've been trying it that way and it's not working. You're running on fumes and your body is starving. You're eating and your body is still starving. Okay. So as the reason we take SOS out of our challenge, and this is where we're wrapping up, guys. So begin to drop your takeaways in the chat. Make sure you have clicked the link that's pinned in the notes in the comments to get registered for our next challenge. The reason we take salt, oil, and sugar out of our vegan challenge, even though salt, oil, and sugar are vegan, is because of the hyperpalatability of them. SOS, salt, oil, and sugar are hyperpalatable, overly palatable, right? And we did our first prep class for the challenge last week on October 25th. And during that class, I taught our challengers about this thing called the bliss point, that is this scientifically engineered perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat that the food companies use to keep us addicted to their products. The bliss point is killing you. So, what we're going to do for 30 days, starting January 1st, is we're going to take SOS out of your diet so we can reset your taste buds, so that we can make your taste buds sensitive to those things again. You've built up a tolerance that's so high that you have lost self control. And you are really believing that moderation is going to get you over the hump. It's not. And the reason you believe that is because you are afraid to let go of the things you love, because you can't stand the thought of living without coffee and 13 sugars. You can't stand the thought of not having that soda or that glass of wine with your meal. You can't fathom a life without butter and cheese and heavy cream and sour cream. But I'm telling you right now, the hyperpalatability of those foods are keeping you overweight, is keeping your body stressed out, and is keeping you undernourished. So we are going to do this together collectively as a community. You're going to join us inside of our community in the plant protocol, and we're going to walk you through taking back your power from food and losing the weight, because if you are overweight, you have a pre-existing condition. If you're with me, say I'm with you in the chat. I'm going to do it, Lisa. Say I'm with you. I'm here for it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Put I'm with you in the chat. I'm going all in for 2026. I'm going to once and for all select the right vehicle. I've been trying to use all of these synthetic chemicals and all of this processed junk and all of these short-term diets and these, what people have been telling me has been superfoods, and I've been trying to suppress my appetite, and I've been trying to just do things for 40 days. Shout out to the Daniel fast, and I just go right back to eating it. Say, tell if you're with me, say I'm with you. Like, I'm sick of detoxing to retox. I'm sick of the cycle. I'm sick of the cycle. I don't want the weight to just come off. I want it to stay off. Say I'm with you. Say I'm with you, y'all. That's the call to action today, is I want you guys to make sure you're registered for the challenge. Our next prep class is November 25th. November, is it 25th or 23rd? Let me see. November, let me give y'all the right date. Let me give you the right date. The next prep class is, yep, it is indeed November 25th. All right, I'm with you, said Lorna. Hey, come on now, Stacy. Y'all in. Regina said I'm in. Let's go. Okay, so losing weight is not about calorie restriction. That means we're just eating smaller amounts of the stuff that made us overweight. That is not a healthy approach to weight loss or longevity and life expectancy. Okay, so now we understand we're also not going to starve ourselves. Starvation doesn't help us to lose weight, right? It helps us to develop an unhealthy relationship with food. It's safe to eat. It's safe to eat. It's safe to eat. All right. We understand now that being overweight is a pre-existing condition, then that being overweight is not a victimless crime. We understand that now. Like, it is a problem to be overweight. Just because it's not something your doctor has diagnosed you with, unless it's obesity, you understand that it's still a problem. We understand now that regardless of what we have been believing is the vehicle we're supposed to be in, we're going to get in the right vehicle. And the right vehicle is to start with a healthy body and a healthy mind. We understand now that the thing that we were going to do, I was just going to just keep pushing through, and I was just going to keep burning the midnight oil, and I was just going to keep chugging cups of coffee and energy drinks, and I was just going to keep grabbing quick snacks on the go that have no sustenance but make me feel like I ate something. I realized that that doesn't work. That was the wrong vehicle, coach. I got these big goals that are like, I got these life-size goals, and I realized that was the wrong vehicle. I need to get in the right vehicle. The right vehicle is a mind and a body that is built on real food, that is built on a healthy relationship with food, that is built on getting in an ecosystem that helps me take back my power from food. I understand that abstinence is where I need to start so I can retrain my taste buds, and moderation does not work and has not worked for me. And I'm going all in this time for 2026. Thank y'all. Come on, Grace. Come on, Susan. Okay, y'all got it. Tamika, come on now. Stop being overweight and undernourished. Thank you, Tamika. It's crazy. It ain't working for y'all. So we done with it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for agreeing today. Listen, thank you for joining me today. I mentioned earlier that this was the first in a series that we are doing in the run up to our next challenge. I need you to bring at least 3 people with you. I need you to bring at least 3 people with you, because when they were studying, I studied, I told you guys this a while ago, but I studied like Alcoholics Anonymous, and understanding addiction. Like, I studied addiction, and I like to understand, like, how do people get clean and stay clean? Like, When people have success rates with beating addiction and taking back their power from substances, like what does it take? And one of the things that Alcoholics Anonymous has shared is that the thing that increases significantly increases the chances of a relapse is when people go back to the environment that they came from. So they go to like a detox center, right? They go to like a program to get clean. But they see relapses occur most frequently when people go back to the neighborhoods, to the environments, to the ecosystems that they used to drink in repeatedly, though, where that habit was habituated in, right? And so I'm telling you to bring your friends and family with you into this chat, into this challenge, because many of you are going to go hard with us for 30 days. And we know 30 days is not long enough. We need to make it a lifestyle. But then you guys go back. You go back to those ecosystems, right? You go back to those date nights. You go back to those girlfriend getaways. You go back to those events, and you didn't bring any of those people with you. Like, you did the challenge solo, but then you go back into the environment that you are not equipped yet to survive. So bring your partner with you. Bring your spouse with you. Bring your best friend with you. Like, I brought my whole team with me. I brought my mom and my sister with me. I brought my partner with me. My partner goes to vegan restaurants with me. Like, it's not even a thing. Like, he don't even mind. Like, I bring people with me. Like, you have to bring people with you. Like, so don't be afraid to ask people to come with you on it. Bring your kids with you. So register yourself and register your top 5. Your top 5 has to come with you, because when we release you back into the real world, you're going to have a hard time not relapsing if you haven't also groomed your top 5. Okay? So bring people with you. Stay in community. It's so important. It's so important. That's all I have for you guys today. I'll be back next week. Next week, let's talk about blood sugar and insulin next week. I'm going to tell you guys the real root cause of diabetes. Many of you guys think that it's a carb issue, it's a sugar issue. If you have blood sugar issue, if you've been struggling to get your A1C down, if you've been struggling with type 2 diabetes, that's going to be the next installment in this lifestyle disease series. So meet me back here next Monday, November 10th at 10 a.m. EST for our second installment in this lifestyle series as we run up to the challenge. So if you're coming into the challenge with weight issues, I hope today blessed you. One of these series, one of these installments are going to bless you. I'm going to hit everybody's issue, okay, over these next several weeks. So I'm excited to be with you guys. Thank you for rocking with me. And thank you guys for being here today. I'll see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.